Shalom,
Shalom.
giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makakodash, giving double honors to our apostles and our elders of the Church of Great Millstone. Shalom, peace and love to all of the elders, bishops, and brothers laboring to push the truest knowledge and understanding, continuing in the apostles' doctrine. Shalom, peace and love to all of the believers, you men, women, and children that are waiting patiently for these last but final prophecies to happen in the earth and the return of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai was coming to redeem the elect. I didn't get to do a lesson yesterday, and Salakia for that. I have been, training a guy at work, for the last couple of days, and we've been getting off real late, so, I wanted to do one, but I was a little bit exhausted, and I ended up going to sleep. So I just said that I'll knock two out today, one for today and one for yesterday. And I'm here right before camp with the brother.
I know.
And we're of the Great Millstone Detroit camp. We're going to go into, how this gig work is failing, and also how through automation, AI and robotics are going to take over, jobs, white collar jobs, blue collar jobs. And a lot of people are going to be without work, so what do you do, especially, in a situation where there's like 300 million, almost 400 million people, within this economy, or within America, that were, and a lot of them, upwards into the millions rely on gig work, and they rely on, certain jobs. They got a certain trade. They're not qualified for other positions. What do you do when they lose their jobs, and that's going to cause, a great issue in itself, So the scriptures are speaking, according to the book of Habakkuk, and eventually there will not be any work for Egypt, man.
Okay.
You got something you want to say and bring out?
Get that scripture right quick.
Okay, hold on, wait. Before you grab that,
Okay.
let's go here because I had typed this in Google. I just typed in simply the words "no more gig work," and these are some of the things that popped up. It says the gig economy is facing a significant downturn in profitability as of early 2026, when many workers experiencing lower earnings, higher competition, and increased operating costs. Daily and even hourly pay rates for apps-based work have fallen, often requiring more hours to make the same less money compared to previous years. And I can attest to, during the time of COVID, during the time when that was around, you had different app-based jobs, man, they were booming. And people had stimulus, they had money they were spending. In a good day, you can make about $300, and only work and only work about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. All right. But however, these app-based jobs are based off algorithms, a lot of them, so they try to keep you capped off at a certain amount of pay while they're making a lot. They're also passing particular laws to where they have to, they're trying to do away with it now, but they had to treat the workers more so like employees instead of, independent operators,
Okay.
And I think there's a law that's getting ready to switch in regards to that, and that was done to pretty much, I believe, to keep how much they had to pay the workers down. A lot of these app-based jobs are now required to pay a certain limited amount of money, and while you would think that it will pay the person that's working more money, they end up getting less work out of the gig-based job. So now they're not making enough, to be able, and a lot of people's lives are dependent upon those, app-based jobs. You got something you want to say?
I was talking to a Uber driver last night, and he told me that the most he can make with that company is like $400 a day. and the most hours he could get is like 12 hours during the day. I was like,
And that's insane. You got to work 12 hours to make $400. That's insane, man. That's your whole day. And then he's using his car the whole day. Which is putting wear and tear on his car. You got to worry about shocks now. You got to worry about struts. You got to worry about ball bearings. You got to worry about tires. You got to get the tires rotated. Then eventually you got to change the tires. You got an oil change. You putting wear and tear on the transmission. Eventually you're going to need a whole new car.
And, a lot of these cars that have these new transmissions, these new transmissions are death traps. Because either the transmission mess up your motor, or it messes up itself, and then you got to replace that bitch.
Okay.
It don't go over the what does it say, the 150 miles that they say that the warranty is coverage. So it is that too,
Okay. So this article, well, this is actually AI overview. It says, while gig work is declining, reduced earnings and high cost platforms are reducing payouts. For example, some delivery routes that once paid 100 to 120 are now offer only 30 to 50, and the company pretty much pockets the rest. Now, if they do end up paying you more money, they end up charging the customer more. Which come on, if you're buying, first of all, you shouldn't buy no fucking food, off a delivery app and have some stranger, some weirdo bring it to you. Now I've done it before, and I've watched on a map, my food was taken fucking several other places before it was brought to me. And it was like the person didn't want to bring it to me. People steal your food and then don't cancel, the order, so that you can cancel it. That way you still have to pay for it. Somebody spitting your shit. All kind of things can go wrong with that. So anyways, there's a downward turn in these gig-based jobs. And don't be surprised if it gets to the point where they replace these gig workers with robots. With robots that can drive, fly. All right, we've already seen workers get replaced in Amazon warehouses. All right, in other different warehouses. All right, it's going to get to the point where these white collar and blue collar jobs are worked by robots. So what's the need of everybody else? You think that they're going to keep everybody, the rich elites, which are put you through hell with this whole climate thing, to the point where they even manufactured a pandemic to try to get rid of a lot of the, look, they're doing things to try to get rid of, the populace of people. So don't think that you just, we're going to keep, no. What they're going to do is, and this is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shmuel Shai's prophecy, they'll help to bring about conditions, which they're driving the economy into the ground so that all hell can break loose. What's going to happen when all hell breaks loose? Well, people are going to be, which this is really Yahweh by Shmuel Shai doing this. People are going to be all over each other in a violent way. And then when the smoke settles, then that's when they're going to try to come back and reign over what's left of the world. All right, let's read a little bit more of this. Reduced earnings and high cost platforms are reducing payouts. For example, are some delivery routes that once paid 100 to 120 are now offering 30 to 50. All right, over saturation and influx of workers have created high competition for available jobs. All right, making it harder to secure consistent work. So that's another thing too. You got a lot of people, their main jobs that they're working ain't cutting it. So What they got to do is they got to pick up a side hustle. So what happens if the side hustle money goes away, which was helping you pay down them credit card bills, which was helping you pay down your rent, which was helping you buy groceries, put gas in the car. That puts more strain on you. That means that the credit card bill is going to go back up because now you need something to compensate for the lack of wages, and then eventually you just ain't got it. A lot of people don't know how to just live a basic lifestyle. All right, but then you got some that are living a basic lifestyle. They are budgeting, but they still got to go to food lines, pantries. You know, they're buying the great value. You know, it still ain't getting it. All right, so this is gonna lead to when there's no more when people lose everything, they lose it. So people are gonna start losing their minds, man. They're gonna be on edge. All right, which is gonna lead to more violence. All right, more theft, and even worse eventually. Declining tips. That's another thing. People don't tip no more on these. Nope. Look, because if you're buying something that normally if you went in there and got it, it'll cost you $12, $15. But the app is charging you an additional $10 to $15 on top of that. Just for the delivery. And then to leave a tip. You know? You would leave a tip after that. So now something that would have initially cost you $15, you had to pay $30 for. It says increase expenses in fuel, maintenance, and insurance costs often outpace the income reduced overall probability. Yeah, we spoke earlier. First of all, the gas prices are constantly increasing. The maintenance on your vehicle, you got to get new brakes. You got to get new struts. You got to get new rotors. Stabilizing bars. All right. As I mentioned earlier, wheel bearings. All right, you putting wear on the engine. Mention the tires. Let alone some other damage that may happen that your insurance won't cover. All right, accident. So anyways, here's a scripture, the book of Ecclesiasticus 31:3. It says, the rich have great labor in gathering riches together. All right, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicates, because the people that own these apps, all right, they're getting richer. They're making their money while you barely scraping together to make fucking ends meet, but you putting in hella hours. Verse 4 says, the poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leave off, he's still needy. You still in need after putting in 12 hours to make $400, and you still in need. You still behind. Meanwhile, you done did trips on Uber. All right, that was $100 trips, and you've only got fucking $30 out of the whole ordeal. And the company pockets the fucking rest. All right, their algorithm is set up to rob you, man. Everything is set up to rob you to make them richer. You have something you want to say?
I was just thinking about what you were saying, and the way the system is set up. If you buy something from one of these stores, like the brother said, they mark it up. So what you normally pay for like $10, it costs like maybe $15, and then that's for each different item. It's a markup. So you being taxed on top of that, and then they tax it again a processing fee. So they getting paid over a head over foot, and these workers, sometimes these workers complain about they don't really make a whole lot. They have to do too much, they have to work a whole lot to just gain a little money.
Can you grab Ecclesiastes 12?
Yes, sir.
And we can end on that one.
This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember,
take it down to about 4.
God. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth.
Grab it in the NLT, Baba Kushal.
Okay, God. Here we go. NLT. Ecclesiastes.
Matter of fact, just read it in the.
I already got it now.
No, just read it in the KJ. Salaki, brother.
Okay, God.
Yep, just the KJV.
All right, God.
Because you really the part that I want in the NLT is 4.
Okay, God.
Yeah.
Well, I got to still say it over here on the for the 4.
Okay,
I could switch over. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now,
because the other they go off on the other.
God.
Yep.
Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor when the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Yeah, which is the time of Jacob's trouble. Which the time of Jacob's trouble run parallel with the hour of temptation. All right, we're looking right now at a failing economy. As much as they get on the news or in front of a camera, and they'll say, "Oh, the economy's doing good. We just pumped new jobs into." No, it ain't no. People are complaining about work. People are starting to complain about gig work. Gig work is going away, and many other jobs are going away because of automation. Robots are going to take over these jobs and have already. So you just combine that with all of the other shit that's going on. Our people are about to lose it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease.
Yep, the keepers of the house. A house in Greek is economos, or economia. So that really goes into a steward of the house. Someone that is in charge of, the household affairs. That title could also be given to someone that's a person that's over the finances, over a company. You're the steward of this company. You watch the finances. You make sure that they're everything is delegated properly. Not property, properly. So the keepers of this house, being America, the keepers of this economy are trembling because they see the end of this place. They see the end of this economy, and they know what's going to come with that. Go ahead.
And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
So the grinders cease because they're few. Who are the grinders? All right, I'm on the daily grind. The grinders are the workers. The grinding cease, meaning that the work is going to cease. All right, or certain work is going to cease. Because the scriptures do say that there'll be 2 women grinding at the mill, and then one shall be taken and the other left.
Switch over?
Yeah. You can switch over, yep.
Okay, switch over to Ecclesiastes 12 and 4. Remember him before the door to life opportunities be closed.
Yeah, what go ahead.
and the sound of work fade. Now your rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then shall their sound will grow faint.
Yeah.
Then all their sound will grow faint. And the time to remember Yahweh Shem Yahushua is now. It is. A lot of people go about walking past us when we tell them return, repent. They mind ain't towards Yahweh Shem Yahushua or the things that's about to come. You know, they turn around and then want to call for the Most High, but by that time it's gonna be too late. When the shit start hitting the fan, you know.
It mentioned life's opportunities. So in America, they promise you an opportunity. You know, of this comes from the Declaration of Independence. You know, July 4th, 1776. It says all men are created equal, endowed with unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, they got that movie with Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness. He wanted the job so bad, this nigga, you know, sleeping in public bathrooms. You know, but that movie shows you how much, what a person will go through in order to obtain what they want. Well, those opportunities are about to, you know, go away. People are going to become homeless because if you're not able to make any money, that's going to lead to you not being able to pay your rent. You're going to fall behind on your car payments. That means that you can't. Your car is your ox. That's your working animal to be able to make more money, to be able to do more labor. So you fall behind on them payments, they come in to repo it. How you gonna do gig work? You know. You're going to become a homeless on the street, which is going to lead into an increasing problem, man. So anyways, life opportunities, you know, the pursuit of happiness, you know, the ability to, you know, all of that's getting ready to go away. All right, there's not going to be any work in this place, which is going to result into people becoming more violent. All right. They're going to be out here with attitudes, angry, hungry. All right, and at each other's necks. All right, and we'll be in the midst of that, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to protect his men. See, some of us, you know, use gig work and have jobs too. But however, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to keep his men in the midst of all of this chaotic shit going on. Now, if you could go to Psalms 33. Matter of fact, let's see. Let's go to Psalms. Is that 34? Psalms 34:17. The righteous cry, and Yahweh heareth and delivered them out of all their troubles. Yahweh is nigh to them that are of a broken heart, and such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the affliction of the righteous, but Yahweh shall deliver them out of them all. All right, 33:17. Matter of fact, 18. Behold, the eye of Yahweh is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercies, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. All right, because no money to be able to buy food, not being able to afford food, because there's going to be a hyperinflation too. So not being able to afford food leads to famine. All right, a lack of bread. So that's when the looting comes. That's when the breaking into stores come. That can only last so long before these they eat up and consume everything. Next thing you know, they're trying to rob each other and take from each other. When there's nothing else to consume and there's nothing else to eat, you know, all of the grass is grown. All of the green leaves on the trees are ate up. All of the leather is eaten.
Hmm.
You know, people are going to start to eat the unthinkable. All right, which will be each other. You know, it's going to get real bad, man. So, you know, with that, I truly hope that this lesson was edifying. Let's give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Shalom.
Shalom.